record, okay?
And he can't.
Yeah, let me record and then I will start sharing my screen. Where is my share my screen, and I will start sharing. Which one?
Thanks for your slides. My photography
Can you see me?
is improving definitely. Yes.
Oh, good. Can you see me or not?
I have not. Your screen is I can see it with yeah, but yeah, but we can see your basic photography black screen.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. All
You,
right.
you,
Let
you
me.
have to make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You can see that, right?
Yep.
Okay. It came in the other screen. So let's quickly go through this one, and then we'll actually, the basic thing that you need to do is that the triangle that we talked about, the exposure triangle, and you have to practice that one more and more. And once you have that one figured it out, and once it is coming automatically to you, then you can look into other things like the um, um, what is this? The things that we are going to look at today, you see the exposure triangle, the key things, the ISO, the
Yep.
aperture, and the timing, right? Shutter speed.
Yes.
So those are the key three key things that you need to concentrate.
Yep.
And histogram that will just help you to do things. And the white balance is we went through white balance a little bit, right? Is because the camera is a dumb thing, right? I mean, camera will do whatever the things it is programmed to do, but our eye is very intelligent. Our brain is very intelligent. So when we see things, we automatically take into granted. Say, for example, if I look at a white paper in direct sunlight, it will show me white, and I will understand that as white. But if I look at that white paper in the yellow light, in the incandescent light, that actually is yellow color. But my brain automatically converts that one to white, and I will see that as white. It really doesn't matter what kind of light that I have. Okay, so that is happening in my brain. But when it comes to taking a picture, that white paper, if I take a picture, that will show in the sensor as little bit yellow. Okay, warm color. So we have to, in the picture, when we see a picture, we see a two-dimensional paper, right? It's a picture. And in that one, it will be a little bit yellow color, but our eye automatically still converts that to yellow automatically. But actually, a good photographer should adjust that one to white color. And the white color is because we know that is a white color. So that is the concept called white balance in the camera. Okay, so it's simple as the reason we adjust the white balance is to get the colors in image as accurate as possible. Image with different sources of light have different color temperature. We measure the color in color temperature. Okay, fluorescent lighting add the bluish cast to the photo, whereas tungsten incandescent light add a yellowish tinge to the photo. So those are some of the things that you have to be aware of when you take photographs. For me, I set the camera right now. I'm also learning photography. I have to tell you, although I take nice pictures, I like my pictures, but still I had to learn so much of things. And when I say I had to learn, means that I had to get these changes automatically when I take a picture, but I don't. Right now, I can manage with the exposure triangle, the basic three key things I can manage. But what I do, the white balance, I keep it auto white balance. Means that camera automatically set it to the environment. Means that if I take a picture in the outside in the sunlight, it will set it to that one. If I take a picture in the inside with the tungsten light, I don't change the color, but I set it to white balance to auto. That means the camera sends the yellowish color and camera adjusts it automatically. Okay. Then in my editing program, if I see something strange, I can do finer adjustments there. Okay. So to do the correct white balance in a kind of a wedding photographers and real photographers, what they do, they have this kind of a set color, gray color, white color, black color boards. If they see a completely really white wall, they take a picture of the wall instead of this one. Now, when they have something like this, a board, they take that color and they make this part white from the adjustments. And they adjust to make this color white. And then they know the adjustments, how much they should adjust, and they adjust all the pictures according to that one in that lighting environment. Okay.
So it's like reference setting.
Yes, that is exactly. This is a reference setting, and okay, if you change the room, if the lighting is different, then you have to do a different one. Normally, in a wedding, if they take in a church or some place and they set it, preset that one and make sure that they know what is exactly white is, so that they can when they get the printouts, when they do the editing, they can make sure that it is real colors are. Otherwise, now this is very important when you take people photography, because people photography, the skin color should be exactly like the skin color. Okay, the tree, for example, if you take an outside picture, tree color green, you have different shades of green, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, you can adjust that one, but people is not like that, right? I mean, people don't like if they make it darker or whiter or pinkish or things like that. So because of that, they have to make sure that it is the correct color adjustment. Okay, white balance is measured in kelvins. Now you see the blue color is blue's color is we call it a cool color. Cool color, and Kelvin value is very high, 10,000. If it is red color, it is a warm color. Yellow color, orange color, they are warm colors, and Kelvin is very low. Now this why it is like that is, this is really the temperature is measured according to the photons. Okay, and how all the light is depending on the photons moving, right, and bumping to each other, and this bumping to each other makes some temperature, right? So if it is red color, that means they are moving very faster. That means it's bumping too much and create a higher temperature. Okay, so that is why the red color. but it is measured low. I don't know. You may have to read that one. Okay. And cool color means the photons are not moving very fast, and then it becomes low, right? So that is the Kelvin color. This normally our sunlight temperature, outside temperature is 5200, around that. 5200 means 5200, 5000. That is the normal temperature. If you are taking inside in a fluorescent light, it will be kind of bluish color. If you are taking a tungsten light, that means you are a little bit lower in 4000, 3000, depending on that, right? So just want to make sure you know what is going on there. Metering, I got confused what is this metering means at the beginning, but actually the metering is the cameras, they set up the sensor according to the view that the camera see, right? And so you have different ways evaluating metering. That means the camera evaluate the whole picture, the whole square that it sees, and see the bright spots and darker spots, and come up with a more appropriate lighting level. That is the evaluating, right? Partial metering is it takes a part of that one and do the same thing. Spot metering is taking a middle spot or whatever the spot that you pick, and it's a kind of a 13% of the whole frame, small spot, and adjust the color according to that one. So if you adjust that color to that spot, sometimes depending on the other things, that will blow out sometimes if it is too bright, and sometimes the background could be dark because you set the metering to the spot, okay? And center weighted means take a circle in the center and weigh that one, and according to that one adjust the whole frame. So Canon has a different terminology, Nikon has a different terminology for that one. So you have to understand exactly what your camera does.
So it looks like Clive, evaluative is the best way if we don't want to muck around.
Right, exactly. That is what I do also. As I said, I'm still learning, and most of the time I'm putting evaluative metering. And there are times that I will pick spot metering. Means that if it is a very harsh light in the background, sun is coming directly towards me, backing my subject, then I want to make sure, let's say the sun is coming from, I'm sitting like this and the sun is in front of me, and my subject is in between the sun and myself, my camera. Now I want to take a picture of the person in the middle. So I want to take a good picture of the face. If I take a face with the evaluative metering, that means because of the sun, the whole background is so white. Then the face of my subject will become very, very dark. So that is not a good thing. So in that situations, I will pick spot metering and spot my small dot to the face of that person. That means it will take the lighting of that face, and I will take a nice picture of the face. But what will happen to the background? It will become very, very bright. It doesn't matter. That is not my concern, right? Because I'm taking a picture of that person. So there are situations like that. You see, these are advanced stuff that you have to learn to take the pictures. Okay, that's why I said exposure triangle is the key thing that you have to master, and then slowly add other stuff. Evaluative metering, as I said, okay, spot metering is taking only the 7%, right? Partial metering, it takes about 13% of the subject or the frame, right?
Yep.
Yeah, lenses and the associated f-stops. Now, this is really related to the exposure triangle, and you have to master this one. If you want to be a good photographer, these things fluidly should come to your mind. You know, the type of lens that you're using, what kind of f-stop that you should be using, and things like that. These things should come to you through your experience only, okay? So you have to shoot a lot to do that. Zoom lens allows the choice of any focal length within the lens design range, angle of view, magnification trade-off. Zooming out uses the shorter focal length. Zooming in uses the longer focal length. Now I will go to this picture because this is much better. If you take now in this picture, you will see the angle. What is the angle that you are taking into your sensor, right? Actually, sensor is not here in this place. In any camera, you have a sensor with a circle and a line in between. It's somewhere here. If you take any camera, you will see that one marked there. Okay, sensor is like that. So what you this point is somewhere here. This converging point is somewhere inside, right? And if you take a 8mm camera, 8mm camera, you will see about 160 degrees from this point, 160 degrees, but actually it's little bit less than 160, but because we have a length of this lens, you will see almost 180 degrees of view, right? If you take a 18mm camera, these are wide angle. Angle is wide. You can see a bigger picture. If you take a zoom lens or zoom lens, let's say 135, and these are some of the things that you need for bird photography or spot wildlife and things like that. Your angle of view is very low, you see, but you can take far away distances, but you see, you can see only a short area here. Okay, so other things you can check it out. And
Clive,
yeah,
Clive, I have a question now.
yeah,
In zoom lens, right?
yeah.
It gives a range, right? I can't remember the
Mhm,
numbers, right? For
mhm.
example, if it says 80mm to 130mm or something
Yes,
like that.
yes,
So it's a changeable thing, right? So
yes,
how does
yes,
that work?
yes. So basically, what
If you
that
go back to that early one,
no, yeah. So basically, inside here,
yeah,
there are combination of lenses, right? And you turn the wheel and this will become longer and shorter, right? The zoom lenses are like that. Variable zoom lenses are like that. And this will become shorter and longer. So basically that will allow you to go from, say for example, I think you wrote to me, your lens is 18mm to 135mm.
that's right.
So
So
in one position, in
yeah,
18mm position, you can take a wide angle. You can take a wide angle picture.
yep.
If you want to take a bird or far away wildlife or sports, you can make it a zoom and go far away. You can see only a very small part in the far away. But the disadvantage is all the zoom lenses, the general ones in use, the picture quality is not very good. Means that maybe some areas are good, but the whole picture is not going to be very well focused.
Okay.
But if you go for more expensive zoom lenses, then that is why the expensive means that they add more and more lenses, more and more glass inside that one to get the whole frame focused from the lowest to the highest. Okay, and those lenses are very heavy. Very heavy because there are a lot of glass inside. Okay, variety of glass.
Yes. Another question, Clive, before moving to the other one. So I have another longer zoom lens, right? I can't remember, it can go up to 300 millimeter, right? So so when I remove my the one came with the camera, so I take that one off and fix that one, right?
Yes.
So that means I can zoom even further, right?
Right.
So
right.
what is this millimeter connection with the f-spot?
Okay. F-spot is the aperture, the aperture, the iris, the opening of the lens, that allows the light to come inside the sensor. Okay.
Yep.
And the zooming means, the millimeter means the focal length. Focal length means, now if I take the sensor somewhere here in the camera, right?
Yep.
And 18 millimeters is the focal length, the 18 millimeters from here to the exact point.
Okay.
Right, 18 millimeters. That means if I keep some object at 18 millimeters, that I will see that one exactly the same size in my sensor. That is the focal focus, right? So if I take that same object at 300 millimeters far away here, I will see same size in my sensor, right? So that means this small object will become a very big object in my sensor at 300 millimeters. So basically, far away objects, if you want to make it big, you have to have a longer focal length.
Yeah.
Right? Think about that a little bit. I mean, this is simple physics. Think about that one. And 300 millimeters, if you take a 1 inch circle and keep it at 300 millimeters, and that will show in your sensor as exactly as 1 inch circle.
Clive,
yeah.
Zoom in means you increase or decrease that millimeter area.
Normally we call zoom lens means variable.
Yeah, zoom in and out means which one?
Okay. Well, zoom in and out. Zoom
from
in,
here.
Zoom. When I say zoom out means is making it wide angle.
Wide angle. Okay, that means 8 millimeter like that.
Yeah. Now here you see this one, and now this is zooming in. This is zooming out, kind of.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I thought it's the other way. I thought that
maybe. He's a English thing, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. We'll have to check that one in the dictionary.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. In this one, you might see something there. how much can your camera see? Now, less than 21 millimeter extreme wide. Okay.
But can we make it? Can we make the slide a bit bigger?
This one?
Yeah, it's difficult to read it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, sorry for that.
Yeah,
all right.
That's all right. Yeah.
All right. So 35 millimeter normal street and document. I mean, this slides gives you what kind of zoom length, what kind of focal length you have to have for different kind of photography. And 21 millimeter or 18 millimeter is extreme wide for architecture and really landscape type of a thing. And 35 to 70 millimeter normal street photography documentary. And 21 to 35 is wide landscape. 135 to 300 millimeter telephoto, sports and wildlife. Medium for telephoto for portrait. Portrait, normally portrait, you know that when you take the zooming, if you make it too wide angle or very short focal length or very long focal length, it always distort the picture, right? Little bit. So when you take people photography, they don't want to be distorted. So people like their face to be as exactly like that, right? The way they are. And sometimes, let's say a fat person, if you they like if they can see them as a kind of a thin person. If it is a thin person, if you make it a bigger person, they don't like it. So normally that is why portraits are normally taken around 50 millimeter and 85 millimeter. There are 85 millimeter in all the manufacturers, they have 85 millimeter lenses for portrait photography. And that is a kind of a standard setup. Most of the wedding photographers use 85 millimeter, 70, 85, 100, you know, that is the type that they use for people photography. Running out of time, 10 minutes. Okay. Hey, I can set up every week, right? If I cannot attend, if I have something, I will cancel. Otherwise, I will set it up every week. Is that okay with you guys, or what do you want to?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we also may be available or not. Then we can let you know.
Yeah.
Right, like what Janaka did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a lot of other practical things to show you, but I don't think 40 minutes is enough for that one. But let's go through this one, and I will show you some other things maybe next time. Bird photography. Okay. So you see here the focal. By the way, in less than 10 minutes, it will automatically cut off. Okay. Make sure you know that, right? All right.
Last time it happened.
Yeah. So 17 millimeter, you can see a big landscape here, right? 28. I mean, you see, it's kind of self-explanatory, this picture, right? It's a really good slide. And how what do you want to show, you know, and depending on that, you can set the zoom size. Right? If you want to show only this part, you know, you have this one, and but if you want to show the whole building, you can see kind of 28 millimeter or 35 millimeter. If you want to see the whole area, you can make it to 17 millimeter, right?
One good thing is you can't remember, you don't need to remember this one because you look through the viewfinder,
right?
As zoom in and zoom out, you can see that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But also you have to have, sometimes everybody doesn't have the full range, okay? Now I have many different zoom lenses. For my birds photography, I have 100 to this one, the new one, 100 to 500, and I have 24 to 70 for people photography, and if I have 35 to 15 to 35 for landscape type of photography, and flowers and you know, general purpose, I have 70 to 200. So depending on what you want to shoot, you know, you have to have that correct lens. It's very difficult to have a lens the full range because of the optics. It's very difficult to design things like that. That's why they break into different segments. Now today I went to that lake to check the birds and catching fish and things like that, and I used only 100 to 500 lens at that time. Now, yesterday or day before, I went to our arboretum, our Dallas flowers and you know, pumpkins, and these days autumn coming up, and they have pumpkins, decorated pumpkins. So I took the 70 to 200 at that time. So depending on what kind of things that you're going to shoot, you have to have the correct lens. I carry 2-3 lenses normally in my backpack, you know, in case if I have to change. So those are kind of minor details that you need to consider later on. Zoom lenses, I think you can read this one. It's very easy, right? Prime lenses, there are prime lenses. Prime lenses means it's only fixed focal length. And those are very sharp images, very light and have wider apertures, means that you can get a lot of light and in much cheaper also, okay? This means the disadvantage of that one is that those things are good for only one application. So if you are a general purpose photographer, it's very difficult to use that one. And if you know exactly you are going to do only some people photography, you can put it the fixed millimeter lens and take that one, finish that one. But when you're taking the camera in a walk or something like that, in a vacation or something like that, you don't know what you are going to get into. So you need to have some variation. So that way you like to have a kind of a zoom lens. Crop factor. Do you understand the crop factor? Have you come up with that before?
Not really.
Okay, so the crop factor is the standard camera. Standard camera. I have only 2 minutes. Standard camera is a 35 millimeter. That is the old style coming from the 35 millimeter film days. So the key reference is 35 millimeters. But your camera is a cropped one. Means that your sensor is not 35 millimeters. It's 1.6 times less. All right. So that is why it's called crop sensor. So if you go through this chart, you will see that one, the effect of that one.
Slides.
I can go through. Means that you can take the same picture, but if you sit in the same place like a full frame camera, full frame means 35 millimeter, full frame camera, you will not see the whole frame. You will see 1.6 times less than the other camera that's with a full frame. Okay, because you see, that is why it is a kind of a lower end, high end cameras has 35 millimeter full frame. Okay, so depending on the size of the lens, and you have to always multiply or divide by 1.6 to get the correct size of the exposure that you are going to get. If you have a crop sensor, and for wildlife it is good, because it's always, if you put a 600mm lens, you will see 960 millimeters is 1.6 times. Okay, for Canon is always 1.6 times, but different other camera manufacturers different times. I think Nikon is 1.5 times. So this you need to think a little bit, and I can explain this one a little bit more next time. What this exactly means. Okay, basically you see a frame in front of you, and if you take a full frame camera, you can take the whole frame to your sensor, take a picture of that. But if Kapila sits there with his camera, he will not see that whole thing. He will see little bit smaller frame in his camera sensor. But what you can do, you can go 2-3 steps back